Hello, my loves. Welcome back for another video. Today is the second part of my series. I don't know what to call it, but it's on the pregame, the off season, the prep as we're going into 2025, whatever you want to call it, that Q4 prep. So this is video 2. If you haven't watched video 1, I will have it linked below for you to look at that. Today we are talking about deprogram your mind so that you could reprogram your mind for what you want in 2025. I believe, just a quick summary of why I started this, is that I believe that starting on January 1st is not the way to do it. I believe that the preparation into the new year is so much more important. And I believe that people who do that, some people start 6 months out, some people start, 3 months, 90 days, but you could start 10 weeks out and 9 weeks out and still make an impact in your life in 2025. And so starting off this video, I just want you to really think about what are things that you've been told that you don't even know who told you, like things that you believe, but you don't want to believe anymore. Examples of things too that could be hindering you, but you're not aware of, are things like, oh, baby girl, money doesn't grow on trees. The last time I checked, cotton grew from the ground, linen grew from the ground. Dyes for printing money, they're made from substances from the earth. There is excess, there is a plethora, there is more than enough of those resources to make money. So money does grow on trees, technically, not on literal trees. It grows on money trees, cotton trees, even though cotton is not a tree. But you get what I'm saying, is that there's a lot of beliefs that are in your head that they are not yours. Like, they have been told to you and you have carried them on and on and on over the years. So think about those things, because we can program ourselves towards abundance, overflow, excess, or we could program ourselves to lack, to poverty, to debt. Like, there's so many. Your mind is so powerful, honey. Your mind is so powerful. You've heard the phrases, as a man thinketh, so is he. What we think about, we become. There's another one I heard years ago, but we create our life based on what we think about most frequently. You may have heard different variations of this, but they all mean the same thing, that as you are, as you believe, is what you do become. So what do you want to become? And that actually will help you lead you to what you want to believe, what you want to program into your mind, what you want to hold on to, and what you want to let go of. One thing I want you to notice is how you and how the people around you speak and what they speak about. I want you to pay attention to, are they speaking about things, good things that are happening? Or are they speaking about negative things? Are they speaking about debt and lack and poverty? Or are they speaking about where they're going and the good things? I'm not saying not to talk about the bad things, but some people lean, and most people lean, towards the negative more than the good. They're not looking to solve a problem or to get out of a situation. They're looking more for you to confirm their reality. I made a video on that, and I can't recall what it's called right now, so I'll try to just put it up above, but I made a video on that. But just because we don't realize how much people influence our programming. So being aware of what people are saying around you and to you and what you are internalizing is important, especially when you're weak. I don't want to say you're weak in general, but just when your mind is trying to deprogram and reprogram. So you're probably saying, like, Alana, why do I need to deprogram and then reprogram my brain? Because if you don't, you are going to be in the same exact situation that you've been in. You're going to be in the same exact circumstances. This is why it's important to do the healing work. This is why there are therapists, there are books on self-development. By now, the video I have on why self-improvement books don't help or don't always help, that video should be up now. And that also, I kind of talk about some of those things in there, but understanding that if we're not facing our fears, if we're not applying ourselves, if we're not changing, we're not acknowledging our faults and where we play a role in our environment, our surrounding, and who we are becoming, then we are really failing. We are being stagnant. We are going backwards. If you're not changing, you're not growing, you are going backwards, because stagnation is quite literally death. Nothing in life just stays. Even like when you look at just energy in general, physics. Nothing is just sitting. Everything is moving, whether it's a little bit or a lot. Everything is moving. And you have to be aware of your thoughts around that and how you are, how you are viewing and receiving the world. And I would say the ways to reprogram your mind, there are a lot of ways, and I'm going to talk about them, and then some of them will be in later videos. And I'll give you some action items in a second, but ways to reprogram your mind is start listening to and internalizing different viewpoints, different things. This is by reading, this is podcasts, this is going to conferences, this is affirmations, this is declarations, this is vision boards, this is praying, talking to God. There's a lot of ways to reprogram your mind to think differently. This is examining things that have happened in the past, things that you've done in the past, and figuring out how can I do it differently now. This is healing your situation, like whatever you're going through. Some people have traumas, some people have heartache, some people have grief. Healing from those things and becoming a new version of yourself. Reprogram your mind takes time, consistent time. It takes making a decision, deciding to do it, and understanding that you could take all the time you need, because this is not a sprint. It's a marathon. This is a lifetime endeavor. You're never going to reach the end. Reprogramming your mind is going to come in steps, over time. And so when you do all those things, whether it's just 1%, it's like I talked about in that Atomic Habits video. It doesn't matter if it's just a little bit. Doing it is what matters. People think I have to read a book in 1 week. You don't have to be like me. I read like a psychopath. Like I read so much. I read more than the average person reads because I love to read. But if that is not you, start with 5 minutes. That is totally fine. Start with something, because once you start doing a little bit, it's better than doing absolutely nothing. 1% better every day is better than no percent better every day, because when it's no percent, you're just going backwards. And so the first thing I would say that I would like for you to do is start reading, whether you read now or you don't. So if you read now, maybe you need to start reading more books or start applying these books. You could figure out what that is for you. If you're someone who does not read, this may look like every day I commit to reading 1 page a day. 1 page a day. This could be, I'm going to turn my car into a university on wheels. When I go to work, I'm going to listen to a podcast that is in alignment with the person I want to become. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to invest in Audible. I'm going to find free Audible books. I'm going to go to my local library and buy CDs. Whatever that thing is, it's committing that I'm going to read and I'm going to grow. And the best way to read and grow and to reprogram your mind is to listen, read, and you will, like I'm telling you, it will change your life. Like now, I remember when there was a time when all I listened to was music. Now, it's very rare you catch me listening to music. I'll listen to music maybe in a week. It's probably less than 2 hours. It's probably actually less than 1 hour. No, it for sure is less than 1 hour actually now in a week. Maybe even less than 20 minutes. Now, that's not for everybody. Some people really love music and they'll listen to it. I'm saying that I have a video on this too about what you're listening to. So if you're listening to a whole bunch of music that's like cheating and stealing and being broke and being heartbroken, then you're programming your mind to believe those things, right? So I chose to focus on other things. If I listen to music, it's like my Jesus jams. It's music that's more instrumental. It's more positive type music, like beautiful chorus, things like that. But listening to music that has more of a vibe, and I listen to old music too. I like a lot of like 60s, 50s, even earlier music too. Opera, jazz, but classical. I like classical music too. But whatever that is for you, like, so if you know, I don't read, just try it. If you're someone who already reads, maybe you need to read more self-help. Like I admitted in one of my videos recently, I was like, I read mostly fiction this year. Like my self-development books, I probably read 1 or 2 every month, but compared to the amount of fiction books I was reading, it was like minuscule, which is fine. But I was applying, I was growing. It's not like I was sitting stagnant. I was still utilizing these courses, utilizing these books. If you're not into books, do podcasts. If you are more of an in-person, go to conferences, invest in a conference. Maybe in the city you're in, if you're in a major city, you could just go look online and find places where they have conferences and then just record it with an audio and listen to that recording while you're working out or while you're walking, while you're cooking. It's instead of replacing things like, say, if you normally watch the news, don't watch the news anymore. What is the news doing for you? How is it serving you? It's just giving you a whole bunch of negative information that you don't need. Replace that with something that is leading you towards who you want to be. It could also be you recording yourself. I have a video on affirmations audios. You could record yourself saying affirmations and listen to those affirmations. There's so many options. My point is, start to focus and put intention on reprogramming and deprogramming your mind, getting rid of those thoughts, those ideas that were not yours to begin with, that other people put on you. Start using your own brain, your own intuition, your own body, and figuring those things out for yourself. The second thing I want you to pay attention to over the next week to a month is pay attention to beliefs that are not yours, like beliefs that you got that you don't really know where they came from, like the money doesn't grow on trees, or, you know, I'm never going to make money, or, you know, just whatever. Like maybe you're like, I'm fat. Whatever these beliefs are, I want you to write them down, hear them when you say it or when you think it, write it down or record it, whatever it is. And then I want you to replace that thought with a thought that aligns with the version of yourself that you want to be. We talked about this version in the last video. So whatever that version is, what does this person think like? And I want you to replace that belief with that. Example I used in the last video was, you're someone who next year you want to have a different net worth. Like you want to have whatever that net worth is for you, write that number down. You say, oh, I want my net worth to be over $10,000 next year, and you're up to your neck in debt. Okay. The belief now is not, I can get to $10,000 in net worth. No, the belief is, I am more than able to get to, if this person can do it, I can too. I have the tools, the resources to make this happen. I already put the why and my systems in place based on the video I showed you last week. So I can reach this net worth. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take being open. It's going to take keeping my hands open, not my fists closed. It's going to take me giving and being open to receiving. I am this individual. It's like starting to speak those things, reprogram yourself, and get rid of, remove, throw away, discard those thoughts that are not in alignment with who you want to be. For me, a perfect example I didn't even think of. So when I was studying, I mentioned this in another video, can't remember which one, but when I was studying for my licenses, when I was studying for them, I put a sticky on my computer that said, I am the best test taker I know. Now, was I the best test taker I knew? I don't know, but I believed that. I told myself that I am the best test taker I know. And what happened? I passed those tests. I passed the test, and people in my office hadn't even passed the test. Like I was the youngest person at the time. Like, so it's crazy when you think about it, but like it's possible. And so I'm just saying, understanding that things are available to you. When the say that thought that came up was like, money doesn't grow on trees, then you write, money does in fact grow on trees. Money does in fact grow from the ground. There is excess of money available to me, because money is just energy, right? Whatever that thought process is. Oh, I want to have long hair. I want to have long hair. Like me, I'm working on regrowing my hair back out because I cut it and never should have cut it. That's a whole nother time to talk about with those things, but I want longer hair, but I can't grow hair. My hair never grows. My hair never grows. Erase that, delete. I have beautiful, long, thick, flowing hair, or I have luscious strands, whatever resonates with you, write that down. You could even say, instead of saying I have luscious hair or luscious strands, you could say, I choose to eat nutritious foods that, how would I say that? I choose to eat nutritious foods that supply my body with all the minerals and nutrition that it needs to grow long, healthy, thick hair. You know, like whatever you're saying, say it so that it's believable to you. Because again, like I said, I could say I'm a money magnet all day. I believe that. And I've proven, like I've seen this happen to me many of times where money has came to me. But if you don't believe that, use different verbiage. Find the verbiage that works for you. But you don't want it to be like, oh, I think. No, it needs to be something firm and concrete, but something that you believe or that you can believe. And as you level up or you become more, you see the evidence of this being real, you'll start to say things differently. Like there's one belief I have, I always find good parking. I believe that. Like I don't, like I always find good parking. I'm sorry guys. Like it's 9 out of 10 times I'm going to find good parking. Even when I'm in the car, people usually who are driving, we will find good parking because I believe it and it is so. I believe it and it is so. So there's that. The third thing I would like for you to do is I want you to block, remove, unfollow any people any accounts that are not in alignment with who you want to become. Example, you're my age, you're 33, and you're following girls who are 18, 17 years old, and you're crying. You're like, oh, I wish I was that thin. Baby girl, that's not helping you. It's not helping you following a 17-year-old. They're 17. When I was 17, 18, it was easy for me. Like, losing weight was easy. Like it was nothing. I could eat whatever I wanted, and it was fine. That person, why would you want to be following that person? They're making you feel bad about yourself. Follow people in your same age range, or people who look like you, the same ethnicity, maybe the same hair type, maybe similar body. I'm not saying if you feel like you're overweight and then you follow people who are overweight. I don't mean that. I'm just saying people who have the physique that is achievable for you. It's achievable for you. I understand that I'm never going to be pale and have straight hair. It's never going to happen for me. Like, that's not my hair. My hair is kinky curly, type 4 hair, for A, B, and C. That's it. That's my hair. I have sister locks. You can't see them right now, but I have sister locks. That is my reality. I'm not going to run around chasing after women trying to be blonde hair, blue eyes. I don't have blonde hair, blue eyes. As gorgeous and as beautiful as that is, just like brown hair, any other. I love red hair. Just PS to anybody watching. I'm a red hair and gray hair lover. I love redheads and I love people with gray hair. Okay. That is my favorite hair colors, period. So I'm just saying, whatever it is for you, honey, you will know. Let it go. Like for me, when I was on social media, I've been on social media, I got rid of like the shade rooms, any of those accounts like Shade Room, TMZ, all that. I blocked them because I didn't want anything showing. Matter of fact, if it came up on my page, I would like recommended videos when I was on Instagram, I would do it so it said I did not want, like, don't recommend this to me anymore. Because I'm teaching the algorithm what I like. Because as much as you say the algorithm is just showing you videos, honey, but it knows based on what you're watching and what you're doing that this is what you'll like. So if you start saying weird stuff on your algorithm, it's probably because that's something you're into and you don't realize it. That's another thing to journal about for another day. I don't want to get too deep in that, but yeah, a lot of people don't realize that the Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube algorithms are pretty good. Like, they actually will send you stuff based on what you're looking at, what you're liking, what you are, what is the word I'm looking for? Consuming. So be aware of that. And then, of course, like on the flip side, because I went on a whole tangent, but on the flip side, you could also follow accounts that are in alignment with who you want to be. So if you know you want to be that entrepreneur, find accounts of women, if you're a woman, men who possess that what you want. People who are in relationships, if you like dating, you're interested in marriage, follow people who have healthy relationships that aren't fake and, phony. There are some accounts you can't tell, obviously, but you can get intuitively, you can figure out who you really align with, who you really like, who you're drawn to, because it will be magnetic. Like, you'll see their videos and you just know, like a kindred spirit or something. Books that you could read for reprogramming your mind. There's a lot. Like, honestly, I've read so many books, but like off the top of my head, I could think of What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. I think of 150. I actually have this book right here. A lot of these books are in my storage, but this book right here, I don't know if you see it, but 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class, Steve Siebold. That's one of my favorite books. That was introduced to me in 2008 or 2009. I've read it so many times. If you get the one with pictures, it's really cute. But they all have the regular black and white version. Think and Grow Rich. That's Napoleon Hill. Do I have anything? I think I wrote a little list to give y'all. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Another good book that I haven't finished yet was Becoming Supernatural. I'm almost done with it. I read it really slow. That's a very interesting book. I was very interested in that with the epigenetics and all that stuff. And then the Bible is a very good self-improvement book. So honestly, if you were trying to kill two birds with one stone, you're trying to get closer to God, and then you're also trying to read, I would say commit to reading the Bible, because the Bible has a lot of the nuggets, which is so interesting when you read self-development books. A lot of the nuggets they talk about in those books, they come from the Bible. And I've noticed this over the years, last decade. I'll be reading the Bible and I'm like, oh, I heard that in whatever video. It's because they got it from the Bible, So just surround yourself and just, drench yourself is the word. Drench yourself in these good words, in these positive thoughts, in these thoughts that are challenging. Because I do think it's important to read books too that challenge you and make you expose your yourself to yourself, like shadow work and just doing things to see where your ego is in play, and, you know, facing yourself and understanding what your triggers are and why they're triggers, because triggers are mirrors. So all that work is all part of the reprogramming process, and also unprogramming yourself from other beliefs. And like I said, don't expect that this is going to change you overnight, that it's going to be next week or even this year. But starting it out now is going to make a major change in your life. You will see the results. I promise you, if you start doing this, you will see major results. Like, even if they're, I shouldn't say major necessarily, you'll see small results that will lead to major results in the end. Well, that's it for the video. I know I've been rambling a little bit, but I hope it's helpful. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is clear for you. Please do those 3 action items, which is reading or listen to a podcast or any type of thing that's going to help you develop. This could be audiobook too. Commit to whatever time works for you. Waking up 10 minutes earlier to read, doing this while you're driving, while you're working out, while you're walking, or while you're cooking, but fit that time in. It's very important. 2, actually, this was actually number 3, but I'll just say it as number 2. 2, removing yourself from people who are not in alignment with you. So that means blocking, unfollowing, however that works for you. Get rid of those people. Do not have those people in your sphere. Don't be listening to the news like a crazy person. Reprogram your mind with more positive and influential people that are in alignment with who you are and who you want to become. The third thing is write down old beliefs that you want to replace, reprogram with new beliefs. This is essentially positive brainwashing. You want to erase these old thoughts and program new ones. You want to take the files that are in your brain, pluck them out, and put new files in there. You delete, discard, and put new ones in there. Upgrading your software, whatever you want to call it, but you want to be so in alignment with who you want to be. Like, it's just so interesting because, like, I'm telling you that I don't want you to think that this is going to happen overnight, because it doesn't happen overnight. But when it happens overnight. That's what it feels like, right? But this is me speaking off of trying to summarize however many years it's been over 10 years, probably close to 15, since 2008, when I started like reading this stuff, to now, me summarizing all that into this. And so I hope that this is helpful for you. And if it is, awesome. That's always my hope, is that just one person will be impacted by whatever I'm saying, because that's how I was impacted. I know that speakers go up there and they speak and they're like, dang, who am I speaking to? But I know I was that one many times where someone said something and they were like, I didn't want to be here, but I know that I was called. God told me that one person was going to be impacted. And I was like, it's me. I'm the one person God sent you here for. And there might have been 10, dozen, 100 people in there that thought the same thing. But just knowing that there is one that needs this, because that's why God called me to talk about it, that to me is the blessing. So whoever you are, I'm hopeful that this will be helpful for you. Thank you guys for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video, part three in this series. And I'll see you in the next video. With all my love, Lana.